All right, first graders, yesterday for writing, we worked on our brainstorming. Okay, you should have done this with me and you should have this done in your writing journal. It should still be there today too, so that we can use that to write our actual story with lovely complete sentences, capital letters, and periods. Okay, so go ahead and pause me if you need to go get that from yesterday. I have it open to that page so that I can see both what I brainstormed yesterday and where I'm going to write today. Okay? Now, my characters I came up with yesterday, remember our characters were going to be going on a trip in our realistic story. A realistic story means that we are making it up, but we are making up things that could happen in real life. So, I chose that my characters' names were going to be Tony and Scott, and they're going to Texas for their trip. And in Texas, I decided that their activities will be to ride horses and they're going to eat tacos. All right? So, first thing I want to do before I write anything is I want to make sure that my first sentence that I formulate has my characters and my setting in them. I want my reader to know what is going on in this story right away. Okay? So I have Tony and Scott and they're going to Texas. I could say they're driving to Texas. I could say they're flying to Texas. I could say they're walking to Texas. It could happen, but it's not super realistic. But I'm not saying it couldn't. Maybe think of a creative way that your characters are going on their trip. Maybe you're writing about Tony and Scott with me. Okay? If you did this one with me today, you're going to stick with me in the story. If you did your own brainstorming ideas yesterday, I want you to use those in your story. Okay? So let's think of our first sentence with our characters and setting both in them. I'm going to start with a capital letter. It's a name and it's the beginning of a sentence. So I definitely need a capital T in Tony. Tony and Scott. Let's see. Let's say they flew to Florida. Like on an airplane. Not with their own wings. That's not realistic, right? Not to Florida, I'm sorry. To Texas. Ran out of space, going to the next line. Capital T for Texas because it's the name of a state. Okay? So there you have it. I introduced my characters and where they are going. Okay. Next, I can talk about what they did while they were there. So instead of saying Tony and Scott again, which I don't need to do, I can just use they now. Capital T, right? I had the period at the end of my sentence. So capital to begin my next sentence. They rode, and I know I put they ride horses there. I could add a little detail here. Maybe they rode big horses. I can fit big on this line. They rode big horses. I'm gonna put both activities in one sentence. Watch how I get to do this. I'm going to use something called a conjunction. It's just a fancy word for a word like and. Okay, now I'm going to tell the other thing that they did. They rode big horses and, okay, I put in my ideas yesterday that they're going to eat tacos too. And then ate tacos. Okay, so that's only 2 sentences. I don't really feel like that's a full story yet. Maybe I could add another detail about their trip. Maybe I could add more details about the tacos. I could say how they enjoyed their trip or if they enjoyed their trip. I'm going to reread it though just to jog some things in my mind. Tony and Scott flew to Texas. They rode big horses and then ate tacos. Maybe I could say their favorite part. Ooh. I could say they had fun, or I could say their favorite part was, whatever you think. I think I'm going to add a detail about the tacos. So I'm going to do another capital letter. I had a period at the end of my thought, capital letter to start my next sentence. The tacos were, how could I describe those tacos? I just picture them being so delicious. So I'm going to use that word. And I'm even going to put an exclamation mark instead of just a period because I feel excited about that sentence. The tacos were delicious. So there's my story. I talked about my characters and setting. Okay. I included both of their activities, and then I added another detail. And I challenge you to do that too. The best thing to do before you turn something in, or before you finish, or you say you're finished with something, is to read it all over again and make sure you have periods at the end of your thoughts, capital letters at the beginning of your sentences. Let's see if I have it. And let's see if my words all make sense. Make sure I didn't add in any extra words or accidentally skip writing a word. Tony and Scott flew to Texas. They rode big horses and then ate tacos. The tacos were delicious. Okay, all the words made sense to me. Let's see, I have a period, capital letter, period, capital letter. Good. So I want to have at least 3 punctuations in my story today. You should too. Now that I'm done writing my story, I can draw a picture to go with it. Make sure you're keeping to your ideas that you brainstormed yesterday about characters going on a trip somewhere and what they did. Okay? I bet some of you probably stuck with me today. That's great. You're going to get to do your own next week. Some of you might have gone on your own and did some different ideas today, and that's great too. But you should still make sure you kept things neat and organized as you were writing. You put periods at the end of your thoughts. You gave characters a setting and 2 things that they did on their trip. Thanks for working hard with me on these stories, boys and girls. I know a lot of writing can be tough, and that's okay. Also remember, take a break if you need to and come back to it. I can't wait to see your writing.